Hello and welcome to another advanced skeleton video. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the advanced skeleton face setup again, this time for faces that are asymmetrical. And for this, we're going to be using a scan of a sculpture. Now this comes from the website 3dscans.com. The model we'll be using is this model of Napoleon, the Emperor of the French. Now there are several models available for download on this website. Now the sculpture of Napoleon here has been retopologized by the 3D artist Danny Porchinger. You can see his artwork on Instagram. His username is Danny_P3D. Alright, here we have the model in Maya. If we turn on the wireframe on shader, you can see the retopology that Danny has provided for us. So let's go ahead and run advanced skeleton face setup on this 3D scan sculpture. So open advanced skeleton, and as usual I would prefer to have the interface docked as a workspace. Then we'll head into our face section. And we'll start from the top in the pre-subsection. So the first thing to do when we're doing an advanced skeleton face setup is to create the face fit skeleton node. And as we can see in the help image, this needs to be positioned and scaled as follows. So we start by placing the lower part. Now this we place right under the chin. Then we scale it up so that the upper part reaches just the top of the head. The next thing is to select the main mesh, that is the face, and click on the face button. Now we can see the progress bar running here is actually checking for symmetry. By default, this check is quite useful as there might be unintentional asymmetry in your model, which you want to detect. But in this case, we know it's asymmetrical and we want it to be. So we'll just hit the escape button. There's no need to be running this check. Now just to show you how asymmetrical this particular model is, we'll do the handy trick for a quick symmetry check, which is duplicating the model and then apply -1 in the scale X. And this gives us a good visualization of the amount of asymmetry for the model. Alright, next we're going to select all the geometry that'll be part of the face setup and click on all head. And then the right eye and the left eye. This sculpture has no teeth or tongue, so we're going to leave these empty. However, we will open the advanced section. And in here, there's a couple of options. First of all, there is an option here called Choose Head Joint. Now, this is the button you want to use when you want to create a advanced skeleton rig attached to a non-advanced skeleton body setup. Now our model here does not have a body setup, so we're not going to worry about this, but we will go ahead and turn on the next option here, which is non-symmetrical face. Now you can see as I turn this on, there is a little extra label coming in the next section here. And if we expand the next section, you see there's a few things happening. Turning on non-symmetrical face checkbox enables these extra buttons for the next fit section to have right and left fitting. So we'll be leaving the non-symmetrical face option on, close the pre-section, and start out with the fit section. So the first fitting we're going to run is eyeball. And we could already at this point, we could switch to left. And you'll see when you switch between left and right, there are various of the fit elements that are disabled. Now these are the ones that are not needed to specify for the other side. Okay, so next we'll go ahead and do the eyelid fitting, and we'll start with the outer eyelid. Select the edge loop. Alright, one thing I would like to mention at this point is that when we are creating these fit elements that are based upon edge loop selection, it creates a upper section in here showed with the green color and a lower section here showed with the yellow color. In most cases, the split between the two will be in the correct location, but in some cases it might not. So there is an option here where you can specify where you want the split to be. To show this, I'm going to go ahead, undo that selection, And this time I'll right click and say we want a multi-component type collection. Select the edge loop. In addition, we'll select a couple of vertices. So for example, if we wanted to split between upper and lower to start here on this side and end here on this side, we would just select these vertices and then run the function. And you'll see that we now get different breakpoints for where is the upper and lower section. All right, back to what we had originally. I'll undo. We'll go back to just selecting our edge loop and create eyelid outer. And if you want to know what is the correct selection that is needed for each of these fit elements, you can click on the little question mark button that opens an image. Another way you can check on what should be the correct selection is to open another Maya session. And open Advanced Skeleton, and under the demo section bring in any of the demo characters, and then switching over to the face section and hit Toggle Fit Advanced. So you can see this gives us a 3D reference for where the fit elements should be placed. Alright, back to Napoleon. The next fit element is eyelid main. And the next one is the eyelid inner, where we need to go right in under the eyelid to find the inner edge loop. And for this, the assist button is quite handy as it will peel out the eyelid for us. Alright, so far we've done the eyeball and the eyelids, and we can at any point switch over and start doing the left side. So let's do that now. Now we'll switch to the left. Now, as we're selecting edge loops for the left, it could be handy to see which ones were the ones we used on the right. And for that, we'll use this button, Show Both Sides. So it's showing us both left and right side. But as you can see here, we are indeed working with the left side. So for eyelid outer, we're going to match up that side in the which edge loop was selected. So the corresponding edge loop here would be this one. And then the eyelid main. And the eyelid inner. So we now have our eyeballs and eyelids done, and we can see how switching between left and right works. It shows you the fitting done for each side. So we'll continue working on our right side. The next thing is we will include the optional eyelid droopy for this character. And the left side. And then we'll go ahead and do the lip. And now I'd like to use this particular edge loop for the outer lip. Now you'll see if I double click on this, it does not give us a complete selection, just the way the topology is laid out here. But that is not a problem. We just add the edges to the selection to manually make sure that it is a complete loop. Now that's our lip outer. Now we can see something is not quite correct here. There is a split between the left and the right that is not in the correct spot. Now what has happened here is that this point on the model is actually closer to the scene center than the actual center because there's heavy asymmetry in the model. But that's no problem. We'll go ahead and undo to go back to our selection. And this time we're going to add to the selection the specific point that we want to separate between left and right. And we can do one more thing, which is specify one more point, which will be the separation from the upper and the lower part of the lip. And go ahead and run lip outer. And you'll now see we got a correct separation from the left and right on the center of the face as opposed to center of the scene. Next, we'll do the lip main. And again, we'll use the assist to peel out the lip so we can get our lip inner edge loop. So you'll see after we complete the lip inner, we get this red lip object that represents the lip. So if we want to make sure we have the lip that we want, we can go ahead and hide the model and inspect just this lip object, and we can see it is doing the right thing. It's wrapping around from the outside to the inside. If we now switch between left and right, you'll see that the lip fit elements are disabled when it comes to the left. It's because these are not needed to be redone when for the left side. Okay, back to our right side. The next fitting is the eyebrow, and we'll start with the eyebrow inner. And then the eyebrow outer. And then the eyebrow middle. Note that eyebrow middle can be misinterpreted to be a middle point between these two. It is not. It is, as you can see in the help image, a eyebrow controller that goes in the center of the head. So that'll be right about here. Next, we'll do the forehead. Now, for the forehead, the selection that is required to create this fit element is these 3 points on the head. So the first one going to be on the center of the nose, and a good idea is to not only find a point on the center of the nose, but to follow from where the upper and lower eyelid occurs, which will be right there. So we'll follow that, trace that out till we get to the center of the nose. That's our first point. The second point, we'll do the same. We'll kind of trace out this upper lower point on the eyelid and trace it out sideways till we get to a point on the side of the head, say over there. The third point will be a bit further up where these two could meet. Take about this point. All right. Now, another thing to keep in mind when you are doing the forehead fitting is that this is essentially the area that will be affected by eyebrow deformation. So if you find yourself in a situation where you wanted to expand on the eyebrow deformation area or contract on it, you would go back to your fitting and reconsider the position of these points. All right, next we have jaw pivot, jaw corner, jaw, throat, cheek, cheekbone, cheek razor, smile bulge, frown bulge, nose, nose under, nose corner. And let's go ahead and run the optional extra nose controls. Nose side, nose middle, and nostril. And let's switch to the other side. Now for reference, we want to see the location we chose on the right side, so we'll hit show both sides and go ahead and do the left face fitting. And there we go, we got our right and left face fitting, and we can hit show both. So at this point, our face fitting is complete, and we're ready to hit build advanced face. Now for running the advanced face build, there is two options. One, you can just run this, which will run the entire build, or you can go into the next section, which is the step builder, which will allow us to take step by step to get through the build process. And that's it. We have completed the step builder. We have a complete face setup. We'll go ahead and jump to some of the next steps here. So we'll go to eyeballs. That allows us to add a eyeball rig, scaling up the iris and the pupil. So selecting the corresponding edge loops. And then we have the head squash section. Now this is mostly used for more cartoony characters, but we'll go ahead and add it to our character here anyway. And that's it. We have applied our advanced skeleton face setup to an asymmetrical model. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.